Imagine you're enjoying the sun, fishing, and a shark gets stuck on your boat. Check this out. A scared man films shark stuck on boat after jumping up and eating his fishing partner. Now, I looked into this a little bit. I don't think anybody actually got eaten, but a shark being stuck on your boat, yeah, that's more than enough reason to never go on the ocean, in my opinion. Let's dig into some creepy TikToks, shall we? Today's episode, it could be something, it could be nothing. I'm anxious to see the comments. If it is nothing, that's cool, but I'm calling it tunnels and distractions. Let's run the first clip, shall we? Let's go.
Secret underground tunnels were found at a synagogue in New York City, and then the cops showed up and they're arresting everybody and... It's just chaos. Reportedly, these tunnels were dug illegally about 6 months ago in an attempt to expand the iconic synagogue. And it all started with a neighbor and the city laying new water line. The homeowner who lived nearby said she had heard all kinds of different noises and suspicious sounds all through the night in the walls and under the floor. Around the same time, construction work was underway for placing the new plumbing near the 770. As the work near completion, a trench was dug to lay the water line, and the surprised workers were shocked to find what appeared to be a tunnel underground. Putting the pieces together, then they were like, hey, something isn't right. They went on to talk about how the tunnel had started in a mikveh on the corner of Union Street and Kingston Avenue and then exited in the building or the synagogue. And stated that this tunnel was nothing more than their attempt to expand their synagogue and the areas to which they do their worship. Working at night for extended periods of time, they began digging from the mikveh building and hollowed out a tunnel that sounds eerily similar to those that were used by Hamas Strip. The tunnel, while amateurish, managed to extend all the way down to the 770 where it burrowed under Kingston Avenue women's section, possibly destabilizing it. But that didn't add up to a lot of people on the internet. So Bobby says that secret tunnels typically under places of worship historically exist for two purposes. One, to provide a place for refuge for members unneeded as the mainland in USA has not seen enemies in 200 years. Or two, to hide secret and typically illegal practices. This guy thinks that they were doing it to try and avoid taxes on a bigger building. And then there's this, which we've talked extensively about when it comes to tunnels. Some people said, well, it was Hamas. And the idea was that Hamas had actually created the tunnel so they could break in there and do violence against the Jews. Again, the official statement and the official story is that these tunnels existed because they were trying to expand what they already had. Now, as of the time of making this video, there were 10 people that were arrested for pulling down the panels in the wall and exposing the tunnels to everybody. And that's when the PD showed up and they locked it all down, pulling people from the wall. More to come as more information comes out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know what I think about that whole Hamas comment. Look at how they reacted when the police showed up. I'm pretty sure pepper spray was deployed over 10 arrests. Yeah, this is crazy. I like what this guy's take. Check out what this guy said.
Absolutely extraordinary news this morning. Secret Jewish tunnels discovered in New York. New York police discovered a secret tunnel under a synagogue in New York City that allowed members of the Jewish sect Hasidic to attend the synagogue during lockdown. The tunnels were allegedly illegally dug around 6 months ago to expand the iconic synagogue. And you can see this picture of this gentleman literally coming out of a tunnel. It caused a huge hysteria as cops came in, and all of the rabbis of the synagogue inside were fighting the cops as they were preventing them from trying to fill in the tunnels. There were also incredibly heinous things like stained mattresses that were coming out of the tunnel. Now just imagine if there were secret tunnels found underneath a mosque in New York City. And then when cops went in to cover those tunnels, the Muslim clerics of the mosque were fighting the cops, telling them to stop. It would be Hunger Games for every single brown person, not even Muslim, in the United States instantly, and the cops wouldn't even go and fight and try to stop the Muslim guys. They would immediately drop hell bombs.
He said that they would immediately drop hell bombs. That's pretty good. The director of media for the synagogue did tweet something out. This is what he tweeted out. Some time ago, a group of extremist students broke through a few walls and adjacent properties to the synagogue to provide them unauthorized access. Earlier today, a cement truck was brought in to repair those walls. Those efforts were disrupted by extremists who broke through the wall of the synagogue, vandalizing the sanctuary in an effort to preserve their unauthorized access. I don't know, there was a lot of people down there upset, and they didn't seem to be upset by the people they were pulling out of the walls. They seemed more upset by the police presence, but that's all I got on the tunnels. Let's go into some other creepy clips I found.
They do not want your children to be educated. They do not want you to think too much. That is why our country and our world has become so proliferated with entertainments, mass media, game shows, television shows, amusement parks, drugs, alcohol, and every kind of entertainment to keep the human mind entertained so that you don't get in the way of important people by doing too much thinking. You had better wake up and understand that there are people who are guiding your life and you don't even know it. And all American citizens, I think, have suspected something like this is going on. But we're all too busy trying to stay alive and live our lives. And after all, what can one person do about it?
I am guilty of being distracted by video games. Let me tell you, I am 100% a gamer. Which takes us to our next clip. It ties in perfectly. Here we go.
I don't care how long he works, and I don't care what he does. There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. Can you believe this?
And why is that?
It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum. And he begins to throw the Christians to the lions. He has great chariot races and football games and basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. That's why they pay a player on a football team or a baseball team $1 million or $2 million or $3 million a year. It is the Roman circus.
I tell you what, social media is probably one of the biggest distractions there is. I don't know anyone that isn't online. Well, which takes us to our next clip. Let's do it.
The World Economic Forum had a seminar 2 or 3 years ago called Weaponizing Social Media. The World Economic Forum also anticipated we would now be in an angrier time in which there would be massive social unrest internationally. There would be protests, there would be resistance as part of this global crackdown on freedoms. Big tech platforms, Facebook, Amazon, Bloomberg, Microsoft, Apple, Zoom, Nintendo did so well when we were locked in our homes for a year and a half and told that other human beings would be the death of us, no matter our health, no matter our background, no matter our age or demographic.
Everybody is really nasty to each other online. I've read some pretty heinous comments lately. Uh, it's always about division. Everybody always wants to divide us. They don't want us coming together. And that takes us to this next clip. Let's do it.
You understand politics. You think you understand political parties. You're all full of crap. You don't know what the Illuminati is. You're either Republican or you're Democrat. You're wrong. Why? It's this easy. It's called divide and conquer. That's why there's two parties and only two. And they're controlled by the same people at the very top who belong to the Council on Foreign Relations, the Bilderberger Group. They also belong to the Trilateral Commission, and you people don't even know what the hell that is. But if you did know, you would know that these are the people that control your world by making global policies that you never vote on, and by which parties both serve and belong to these organizations and control your world. Now, here's how it works. Really easy. Divide and conquer can only work if the people that are divided are not aware of the falsely created division. If you're not aware of it, then it works. If you know about it, then it don't work no more. If you have socialism without capitalism, it becomes communism. If you have capitalism without socialism, it becomes fascism. And it's just that easy.
I love you.
That's all you need to know. That's why Masonic symbols are all over your freaking money. But you don't pay any attention. Ridiculous.
I don't know about you, but that guy just got my vote for president. All right. This last clip is a bit old, but it ties into everything we've been watching in this episode. So here it is.
The reason education sucks is the same reason that it will never, ever be fixed. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The big, wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. Politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. A population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They want obedient workers because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
And all the world's a stage. Well, that's it for today's episode, guys. I want to thank you for watching if you made it this far. Be safe out there. And remember, that counter isn't getting any higher. There's a lot out there distracting us. See you next time. Bye, guys.